Salutations and good evening. Welcome to the part one of the Automate Screencast-O-Matic tutorial. This is all about how to set up your Automate and how to distribute it properly to your students. The second video done by Ryan will show how to grade and assess the Automate assessment. The first step, jumping right into it, of course, is to have Curriculum Loft open and to log on. The next step is to scroll down just a little bit to where you see Automate and choose Automate. Now, what will open up will be your folder for all your different classes. You want to open up the folder that you want to work in. In this case, it's CIS Psych, and I'm going to go Add Assignment. Now, here's one of the first important pieces is you have to name the assessment. In this case, it's the Chapter 3 Reading Check. Now, reference materials, questions, and standards we'll get to, but here it's going to be listed as homework, but you could change it to be one of the other items. It's still this course, and the other piece is the unit, which is really important to tell your kids so they know where you're looking for it. Teacher notes, again, is a description. Now, I can go right to the next tab, or I can go down to save and exit or save, but I'm just going to keep working in it because I know exactly what I'm doing. Reference material, again, like it sounds, is additional material for it. And the standards would be aligning standards if you had already done this for that unit previously. Going into questions, however, the first piece to do is to add a new question. Now, the question types that break down are the different ones here. Document means that there is no question and it'd be a loaded document over here. Multiple choice, of course, numeric response, short answer, true, false, yes, no, are all pretty self-explanatory. You choose the type you need. I'll choose multiple choice. Point value is important to make sure you have it. It defaults to 1 though. Add image here will create a thumbnail, which is a small picture next to the question. If you want a bigger picture because it's a focal point, make sure you add it to question materials over here. Now, my first question, I will need to type it in this box. Notice the text features I do have if I want. Now, in this case, because I already have this done, I am going to copy and paste right from Word document. And I'm going to go back into my document, my Automate, and I will paste it. Again, to copy and paste is Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. I'll go down to my answers, and here's where I need to put my answers in. Going back to my questions, I see here are my different answers. I want to make sure that they copy exactly, so I'm going to again continue to copy and paste from my previous assessment. And this part, again, copy and pasting is fairly quick. Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. Now this one here, though it's bolded in my Word document, it will not show up bold in here, so I don't have to worry about that. It is the correct answer, so I do want to make sure I choose correct answer. Now, if I don't need 4 answers, I can delete one of them. I can also change my correct answer as I go here. Now, I also need to add every question from here on out. So I can just save it and keep working later. I can save and duplicate, which will duplicate my question. I can save and add new, which will go to my next question, or I can exit. If I choose close, it won't save anything. I'm going to choose save and add new. It refreshes my page and brings it to another blank question. I'm not going to make you watch me add all the rest of my questions, so I'm going to pause this and be back in a few minutes. All right, so I've added my 9 other questions, and this is my 10th. By the way, the answer to this question is human beings. As you can see, I have it checked the right answer. Now, this is my last question, so I can either hit save or I can hit save and exit. I'm going to choose save and exit because I'm done adding questions. Now it brings me back to my reading check assignment that I've created, and notice it just gives me a preview of all 10 questions, a preview of the answers, the type of question, and the point value. I noticed that on a few of them, somehow I changed by accident the point value to 0, so I need to go back in and modify that. I can click the pencil icon, and I can quickly go and save and redo it. So you'll notice I can simply go back to each one and add my 1 point. Again, not sure how that happened, but it happened, and this does happen in Automate sometimes when you're quickly copying, pasting back and forth. it can be helpful to notice these things. You don't want to end up having it be 0 points and then have it not grade correctly. So even though I didn't mean to do this, it's actually a good thing I did, so we can show you how to go back and edit. If I don't like one of these questions, I can always go back and delete it as well. So I'm good. This looks great. I have my questions. I'm going to hit save and exit. This brings me back to my initial Automate screen. Notice that it shows the delete symbol because I have not distributed this assessment yet. To distribute, and here's the really big important piece, this is where you give it to your students. So it shows a 0 because I have not distributed it. Notice these other ones I've distributed 1 or 2 times. So I'll click on distribute to send this to the students. Again, right now, the chapter 3 reading check is not sent to the students yet. I'll click distribute. Now it says, okay, add the distribution. I'll click add distribution. Now here, you have to give it a name. Whatever you want to call it, you can call it. The students do not see this. I'm just going to abbreviate a bit here, chapter 3 reading check. This is really for me. Now the date is important because maybe you only want to allow your students to have so much time to do it, and in my case, that is the situation. They're going to be assigned tonight, and they're going to have all the way through the next time I see them, which is the next A day. So I have it starting today, the 6th, again, and it's going to be due, or they have until the 10th, the next day I see the students. The time, I'm just going to leave. Actually, I do need to change the ending time. I need it done by the time they come to class, so that's going to be 8:30 a.m. Now, the other options allow students to modify until due date or until I grade it, release questions once all are graded on a certain date or never, release the grade once they're graded on a date or never. Typically, it defaults to the options you see here, and I'm going to leave it just as that. Now, to distribute it, you can choose to do one student, a few of your students, or all your students. In this case, this is pulling up my one class, period 1A, and I don't have any groups besides students in this class. So I'm going to simply drop down my plus sign to make sure that all of my students are showing up, and there you go, all 17 of my kids do show up. And I want to distribute to all of them since I chose the group. If I wanted to do just students, I would just choose students, and now it changes so I could choose just the ones I want to. However, in this case, it's the whole group, so I'll choose group. I'll check this box here, and then I have to hit the top arrow to move it across to the assign, because right now, no one has it yet. It takes just a minute, but notice there, now it just popped up. And I drop the plus sign down, all of my students are getting there. It says 17 of 17, so I know they're there. I now hit save, and when I hit save, it has now distributed to my students. So now it's a go. They now have it. As soon as they sync, it's going to show up in theirs. I can hit close here, bring it back to automate, hit my portal. Now before I go to my portal, you'll notice there's my distribution. If I want to add a second distribution for another student or for someone I missed, I can go back into distribute and add a new distribution to whoever needs it. However, I'm done. I'm going to click my portal just to get in the habit of going back to my home screen and log out. The next video you watch will be part 2, which is all about grading your Automate, and Ryan will be showing us that one momentarily. Thank you and good night.